guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room, hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this conversation. All right, guys, I wanted to get into this a little bit. I'm going to try to make this really, really brief. And if I can find the video, I will put the link in the description box. But listen, several days ago, I was listening to some commentary on Sharrell's World YouTube channel. She was talking about Carlos King and how he had been striking content creators' YouTube channels. And she mentioned a number of things that I had already talked about, and I wanted to elaborate a little bit because I found it very interesting, because she said a lot of things that I had already been thinking, as well as I had mentioned before. So listen. When it comes to Carlos King and him now being a content creator, blogger, vlogger, producer, executive producer, reality shows, and, you know, all of the different things that he's doing, but getting insulted with being called a blogger, which he indeed is one at this point, as well as the other things that he's doing. I feel that he knows what side his bread is buttered on, and that's why he's putting more effort and time into doing YouTube and collaborating with Bravo personalities, not producers, but personalities, to make money off of them, because in my personal opinion, no proof of it, but my personal opinion is that he was indeed fired from Bravo. Because if he wasn't fired, listen, it comes across with what he is doing as you can't fire me, I quit sort of vibes. So it's possible that he didn't get a pink slip, but he knew that's what was coming. So he decided instead to resign instead of being fired. Because no one wants to be fired. Even if you're working at McDonald's, nobody wants to be fired, okay? It's just not something that anyone likes. Even if you know you deserve to be let go, nobody likes it. I mean, I remember I've been let go from, a job in the past before. It's been a long time since I've had a job. And myself being an employer, thankfully not to as many people now as I have had in the past, and I will never do that again. Because for me, managing people is just not something that I enjoy doing. I feel that we're all adults and we know the job that we were hired to do, so I shouldn't have to micromanage. I don't want to do that. I'm one of those people that I want people to be responsible, mature. You're going to come in, you know the job that you were hired to do the job. I shouldn't have to watch over you. I shouldn't have to do this, shouldn't have to do that. But unfortunately, we live in a world where people don't have integrity. A lot of them are not honest. They want something for nothing. And so I've had to terminate people in the past before, whether it was because of them not producing and not, being up to the task, or being deceitful, and I don't enjoy doing that. But even for the ones that knew they deserved to be fired because they were being deceitful or not doing the job that they were hired to do, or whatever, they still would get insulted for being let go. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, you didn't even want to be doing this job anyway. Like, let's just make it easy on both of us, on everyone involved. But I just wanted to just interject that there for a moment. But I digress. Carlos has a big ego. He's not one of those people that takes stuff like that lying down. So even if he wasn't technically fired and he decided to leave instead of being let go himself, he still feels like it was something that he didn't deserve. I am me. I am the king of reality, like he is self-proclaimed to be, because his last name is King. So anyway, he is one of those people that has a big ego and he doesn't want to be fired. So it's like, what would be better than to be able to tap into Bravo personalities, not work for the network, and still make money off of them by proxy, versus being employed or being an independent contractor for the network. And that's what he's doing. And apparently they can't stop him from doing it because he's still doing it. So with that being said, and maybe I'm quite sure there was some sort of non-compete clause that he had signed. So I believe that's why he wasn't able to do anything immediately after he left Bravo, because that had been many years after he left when he started doing what he has been doing. So, with all things being considered, I feel that some things that he's doing is going to eventually backfire. I'm not sure when, not sure how, but I believe it will eventually backfire, because here's my personal opinion. I believe that, yeah, he's making the money now. He's doing the things that he's doing, connecting with Heavenly from Married to Medicine and doing a show with her on YouTube, and they're collaborating to make money together. And he's doing all of these different interviews and things like that with former or current Bravo personalities. But yet and still, he, in my personal opinion, and Sharrell's, she talked about it on her channel, how a number of people that are working with him feel neglected on the reality shows that he's supposed to be producing. And I talked about this before as well. Not that I like the majority of the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and it's primarily the males of the core 6 group that they call it, that I can't stand. But with that being said, and then the majority of the females, I don't care for them either. Letitia, Kimmy, and, Stormy said some things that were just questionable to me, and I don't hate her. I just, it's just a lot of things that caused me to question. And, so anyway, with that being said, Love and Marriage DC is just getting back off of the ground again. It was almost like they were off for a year. I'm quite sure that the cast of that show was looking at him sideways, like, what is going on? Even Ashley, who a lot of people don't care for her either, but prior to the show coming back on, people were asking her via social media, when is the show coming back? And with attitude, and rightfully so, she's like, I have no idea, but they're sitting there watching him doing all of the stuff that he's doing on YouTube, sitting in his cloffice, which is funny because I actually have a cloffice. I just don't call it that, but I have my walk-in closet that I primarily am recording my podcasts in, because the acoustics in here are so great, because I don't have any windows. There's, no surrounding noises. So it's just perfect for me to do my podcasting in. So it's funny when I'm, when my husband's like, what's up? What are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to go record. And I walk in my office, which is my closet, but I have a studio. I also have an office in my business, but primarily when I'm recording in my closet. So anyway, I just kind of find that funny. But with that being said, his people on his shows looking at him sideways, because it's looking like you're putting more time and effort into doing what you're doing for your YouTube channel and your blogging, yes, blogging, than you are putting in the effort for us. So, Sharrell was mentioning how a lot of them are feeling put off and not feeling like a priority. And I understand the feelings. I really do. And also to mention Carlos and his cast. I would love to know what you guys think about this, because this has been my thought when I first heard about the announcement of his live podcast tour, and first stop being Huntsville, Alabama, and his special guest was going to be melodyshari Rogers. The first thought that I had, and I wasn't going to be there, but the first thought that I had was, this is just him using that woman, knowing that she has a pretty active following who are going to be there hands down. So it's an opportunity for him to make money off of the people that follow her, that, to be honest with you, I don't really think he particularly cares for, in my personal opinion. And I'm quite sure for a lot of them, the feeling is mutual. But I found it ironic that he was going to be doing this with her, because if you all did not watch the Nene interview that he did, which was like the first, I would say, official setup interview where he did with someone that has like a really large following, and Nene does, hate her or love her, she really does. And not only that, a lot of people were going to tune in because they were interested in what she had to say. So it was going to garner him so many more views. So that interview has gotten millions of views, whereas a video interview that he might have done with one of his personalities, like, you know, Maurice or Letitia Scott or even Melody herself, wasn't going to get millions of views. But with that being said, he mentioned to Nene that he wanted to do some things like do like a live tour. So if he was going to do a live podcast tour, I would think that he would have started off with Nene, since that was the first person that he mentioned that to in public, I would say, to my knowledge. And it definitely would have gotten him a whole lot more money, I believe. I mean, let's just be honest. But yet and still, not saying that he wasn't going to be able to make bank off of using Melody for his live podcast tour, but I just believe that he used her to do that. And I don't believe that he really particularly cared for the following of the people that she has or the questions that he might have gotten from the following that she has, because again, like I said, he doesn't care for them, but for a lot of them the feeling is mutual because they don't care for him either. But I wanted to talk about this because I really do feel that he used her and her following to make money for himself, because everything that he's doing, it has all been self-aggrandizing. It has all been self-flattering, having his, what he calls raindrops. Who are raindrops? Who, I mean, even Andy Cohen, as messy as he can be, and we have witnessed with the sly shady, the sly messy, but yet and still messy. Do you ever hear Andy Cohen talking about his following? I don't even know what he would call them, if he would have a name for them. To me, it sounds tacky. It's almost like Carlos is in competition with the people that he claims he wants to give the opportunities to make stars, because he says, I love to make stars. Like, I'm a star maker. I love to make stars. But to me, it seems like he's trying to make a star out of himself. And it was so funny to me when he had made mention of Garcelle Beauvais, who was on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and Sutton Stracke, and their friendship. And that moment went viral because Sutton and Garcelle responded to it via tweeting, and Sutton was like, I don't know who this Carlos King is. And I know it insulted him. I know it hurt and bruised his little ego. But he tried to make light of it and laugh it off like, oh, it's no big deal. You know who I am. But no, she actually doesn't. She really doesn't. And so with all of that being said, what do you guys think about all of this when it comes to Carlos? A lot of the people who he is working with for his series of Love and Marriage, the different cities, a lot of them are feeling resentment towards him. Let me know if you listened to the commentary that Sharrell's World gave about all of this stuff several days ago. And let me know what you think about Carlos using Melody and her following to make money with this live podcast tour, especially when he mentioned this to Nene. And I felt like this was just a convenient way to get started, because even though really, to be honest with you, Nene really is not that busy, but he probably felt like this was going to be an easier win for him to be able to do this versus trying to use Nene. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.